big contracts, big expectations, and big games. Joining us right now is former Yankee great CC Sabathia. CC, good morning. Thanks for joining us. How are you?
Good morning. No problem. How you guys doing?
We're doing great. And when you look at Garrett Cole last night, just your overall evaluation of the 6 innings that he gave the Yankees in a critical start against the Rays.
I think it was a strong 6 innings. Game 1 against a team that you always pitch against in your division. He didn't have great success against them this year. He gave a couple homers. Jim Antonio's been hitting the ball, but I feel like he gritted it out. Gave us exactly what we needed, chance to win, and the bullpen came in and shut it down. So the guys were swinging the bats well. So I think Garrett, went out and did. He didn't have his greatest stuff, and didn't pitch, what he would expect to do. But I thought it was great.
CC, no cursing on the radio station. This is not a podcast, all right?
So I checked myself this morning.
All right, good. You're great on the podcast, by the way. It's funny, it's hilarious, and I love when you go after the Astros. I think all Yankee fans love when you go after the Astros. 19 years, 560 starts for you, and Aaron Boone now decides to go with Deivi Garcia. It's the total opposite of your career. He's just getting started. I think this is probably going to be like his 5th start or 6th start or something in his young career. Were you surprised to hear that they were going to go with him in Game 2?
Not really, just because knowing him and, he's not really scared of anything. I think he can handle, pretty much any moment. And, I think he's going to go out and pitch, as big as he can for as long as he can. And that's all you can ask for, especially out of a 21-year-old, trying to make a playoff start. But I guess that's the beauty of the Yankees having the depth and being able to, put Deivi out there and then have lots of the game too.
I know you're a huge sports fan, CC. I don't know about you, but I'm shocked at how all these young guys in all these sports, I don't care whether it's Justin Herbert and Joe Burrow in the NFL, or you look at the players that come off of the college basketball court in the NBA and take over on the ice. And now here you're asking a 21-year-old kid to step up in a huge spot in the middle of a pandemic, and he's pitching for the New York Yankees, and it seems like it's just another thing for these kids.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that because, you look at what Joe Burrow's been able to do going into Cincinnati and, Justin Herbert the last couple of weeks going toe-to-toe with, 2 great quarterbacks. Yeah, that's true. Younger and younger now, these kids are absolutely ready, but just the AAU circuit and travel back, baseball and, the 7-on-7, so they're used to the big competition and the big stages. They're playing on TV now and, some in 8th and 9th grade, so there's nothing new for them to be playing these playoff games or really to be playing, living their dream out playing on the biggest stage. It's just something, they've always been doing.
Boomer and Gio talking to CC Sabathia, who's joining us on behalf of DraftKings. So for Deivi Garcia tonight, neutral location. He's not really on the road. There's no fans there. Is that really going to help him? Because from my perspective, I'm thinking that's got to help him, but I've never been anywhere close to a situation like that. Of course, you have. So how is that really going to affect him?
I think it's definitely going to help him because if you look at, the way that they're set up, so he will be making the start in Tampa with the fans in the dome. It's loud, so having no fan in the spot, I think it's going to help him. And him being able to go out and focus and not really worry about the crowd or when you're warming up, people hanging over the bullpen, yelling at you, and things like that. He'll be able to just be laser focused, really lock in on the hitters, and try to execute the game plan.
Hey, CC, what the hell is going on with Gary Sanchez, and do you expect him to be in the lineup tonight?
I hope he is. Gary works hard. That's one thing. That's why I'm never getting on him, and I'm never down on him. I'm always thinking that he can turn it around because he's a great player. And, we saw what he did in 16 when he came in, and even in 17. So, I know it's still in there. I know he's a great player, and I know he works hard behind the plate, too. I had no problem throwing to him. I always enjoyed watching him throw the ball down the second base with that arm. So, hopefully he can turn it around and turn it around tonight. I expect him to be in the lineup and, put some good at-bats together and help this lineup.
Seeing G-Man Choi own Garrett Cole in the way that he has is just a tale of baseball. I mean, it's just one of those things. Guy has a guy's number. What was the one guy in your career that, even though no matter how good you were, still somehow you couldn't get him out like you wanted to?
I wish it was just one guy. I wish it was a couple of guys. David Eckstein, remember that guy, the shortstop?
Oh, of course, yeah, a little punk that he was.
I could not get him out. And it wasn't even like he would hit, like, singles. Like, he hit singles against everybody else with steal bases. Like, he would hit homers, like, doubles and, like, damage against me. Like,
he was like 5'4", too.
Nothing I could do to get that guy out. And the second was Evan Longoria. Evan Longoria is on. I mean, I would even go in the game sometimes and just be like, listen, I'm going to just throw him all changeups today. And I would walk him twice, and he would hit 2 doubles. And I'd be like, all right, today I'm just going to throw him all fastballs. And 2 homers, and, I mean, it was unbelievable, And I feel like G-Man's kind of right there with Garrett right now. He's putting together, and, he's doing damage. His homers, and his, they're not really mistakes. He's making good pitches. That pitch he hit yesterday, his fastball down and away, and he put a good swing and hit it out to left center in a big park. So, I think they did the right thing by walking him, the bases loaded to Marco in the 6th inning.
CC Sabathia is with us here on WFAN and everything else. But I think that Aaron Boone actually pressed all the right buttons last night. And, we always talk about the managers when they go the wrong way and everybody's screaming and yelling, whether it be, Joe Girardi not, replaying something in Cleveland or Aaron Boone making a double switch and taking Luke Voigt out of the game. And all of a sudden Luke Voigt's spot in the lineup comes up and it's Tyler Wade there. But everything that he has done thus far now in the playoffs, he's made the right decisions. He started Brett Gardner. He hits a home run. Last night he starts Clint Frazier. He hits a home run. And I would imagine for a guy like you who knows about pressure, when you sign a big contract to come to a new team, or if you are traded to a new team with a big contract, you have to be totally excited for what Stanton's doing here the last 3 games.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, but to your point about Booney, him, pushing all the right buttons, I think that's just having all his players at his disposal. We were hurt for so long. And, 60-game season, we had a lot of guys down. So, he's just trying to mix and match and trying to, put matchups in there and make sure that you're trying to get the best matchup in there. But now he's got all these guys at his disposal. Everybody's healthy. You got Judge. You got Hicksy's having great at-bats. You got Stanton, putting great at-bats together. Luke's doing his thing still. DJ's Judge's back. So, it allows you to, it takes pressure off Gardy. It allows him to go out there and have good at-bats and just try to get on base instead of trying to do damage and driving runs. And, he ends up hitting homers. And then, you put Frazier in there. Obviously, we know his offensive talent, but when you can slide him down at the bottom of the lineup because you got everybody healthy, he ends up getting a fastball that he can turn on. So, I'm really excited for the spot that we're in right now and just having everybody healthy and the bullpen's pitching well and hopefully we can just keep it going. The only thing that worries me is that it's just 5 days in a row.
Yeah, well, for us as fans, it's great, and it really is about the best team then in this situation. There's no breaks, and maybe Garrett Cole has to come back on short rest. Who knows? I would think that he would do it, and I think that would be, if it would be a Game 5, and that would be the case, it would be an awesome thing for us as fans. I know Yankees want to sweep these guys and move on to the next round and all this other stuff. How about the Astros? You think they knew what was coming yesterday? Because, man, they were all over the Padres pitchers.
They were all over
the Athletics pitchers. Yeah, excuse me.
I said that I was with Will Simmons' podcast tonight that they beat Minnesota. I said that they looked, watching that series and watching them play Minnesota the first game, they just looked miserable. Ended up, coming out with the win, and the next day it was the same. They just didn't look like they wanted to be there. And then, they got the big homer, and they were just all excited. So you could tell that that last couple of moments, that last game against Minnesota, things were going to get hot, and they were feeling good. I was like, that's the last thing anybody wants is for them to start feeling good. So,
yeah, well,
we'll see. We'll have to see how it plays out. And, it'd be fun to watch as a fan. If the Yankees got a chance to play them, to have to go through them to get to the World Series.
And that's right, and they're going to be fired up, and they want to prove everybody wrong. But how can Carlos Correa actually, after beating the Twins in a 3-game wildcard series, a Twins team that cannot physically win a postseason game, start flexing then about what are people going to say about us now? I mean, you had a brutal regular season. You beat the Twins, so what? But they are going, if they make it to the ALCS or beyond, they're going to be insufferable with their comments. It's just going to be so tough to take.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, he's just the one guy that has no humility about the situation. I feel like everybody else has come out and, kind of said their sorries or half sorries or whatever. And he's just so upset that, people keep mentioning it or that anybody says anything about it. So that was my comment about, that was my reply to, whatever he was saying. It was like, come on, like, you gotta be humble about the situation. Like, it is what it is. So, we'll see how it plays out.
I was going to say, do you think we'll see Alex Cora back behind a bench again?
I hope so, and Carlos Beltran. I really do. I mean,
so you're good with it now. You're basically over it, and you think that they've paid their price.
Yeah, for sure. Especially if AJ Hinch is going to be, be able to manage again. I definitely think Alex should be able to manage, and I would love to see Carlos back manage. I don't think it was right that they got all the blame, to be honest. So. I definitely would love to see, both of those guys.
They got the blame, though, CC. You know why? Because they had to give immunity to the players to tell the truth.
Yeah, and those guys, and Carlos wasn't the president anymore at the time. So it just didn't feel right that they got all the blame. And obviously I played with both of those guys. I played with Alex Cora and I played with Carlos Beltran, and I know both of them really well. So, I just knew it wasn't right that they got all the blame.
Tell us about what you're doing with DraftKings before I put you on the spot with the Yankees prediction here. So what's going on with them?
Yeah, I ended up teaming up with DraftKings, with the expanded playoffs. They got a bunch of things going on the website. We're just trying to get fans engaged. And it's crazy because, I go on there and the Yankees have, accounted for 1/3 of all the World Series bets. So it seems like everybody's on the same time as far as, the Yankees getting to the World Series.
So, by the way, I was just going to ask CC really quickly. I know you're into your fitness now and everything. You're svelte and you're hot and you're all this other nonsense. How much you benching these days?
You know what? I'm probably like 175, I guess.
That's it?
Yeah, man, taking it slow, and I had coming up the shoulder surgery.
Oh, that's all right. Well,
yeah.
How much you weighing these days, Biggs?
I'm 280, so I'm not that. I didn't lose that much weight. I didn't want to get. The last time I lost a bunch of weight, I was 265, and I was really like frail and skinny. So I didn't want to do that this time, and so I just got on a good eating program. I'm lifting every day, like I'm going to the beach and not playing baseball. So it's been fun. I've been enjoying retirement a lot.
Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the red bell so you're notified when we have new content.